Now we're starting. Again, sincerely apologize for the delay. Thank you again to Encircle Games for giving the key for Chapter 2. Played Chapter 0 when it came out and Episode 1 off stream. And I'm very excited to dive into Episode 2 right now. And we will continue to be in high roller mode, which is their anti-save scum measure. Just our fresh save. Who's your senator? Mathings. Piece of shit's trying to lie to our faces. Mathings is our senator, man. What, still? Shit, hey, wake up. From the top, I guess. What's your name? Ikari. Yeah. What year is it? 2086. What did you say last time? 2027? Maybe this stuff's finally working. Dog does know how to shake. Ah! Again in the head. One thing I said, one thing I asked. Anywhere but the head. Not my fault he's got a punchable face. So we calibrated yet or what? No. We're as close as we're going to get with equipment this old. You want to get to the real questions, or does he need some more softening up? I just said, I won't soften him up in the head. How about it? You still with us, Hound? Gonna feel migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain. Let go and the barbecue scene will drop you like an anchor. Don't want you a vegetable, right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here? Because you were too spooked to do this over a line? I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red. When I tell you there's heat, I mean it. I know, and I always listen. See? Breathable layers! God damn it. You laughed. Doesn't mean I conceded the point. You're lighter. Also, great fit. Love the sheer top. You're rocking it. You memorized the map? You kept it pretty vague. Risk and decent. I think I got the gist of it. You're worried about a paper trail? Proactive analytics just want to. Hold on. Internet of Things refers to the network of data sharing that goes on between all the countless electronics we monitor ourselves with phones, computers, security systems, biofeedback devices, body modification prosthetics, and of course automated dependents, all comprise small but vital parts of this network. Without IoT's ability to collect, process, and share information, massive opportunity costs build up as individuals, governments, and private businesses miss out on valuable insight that the data has to offer. One of the coolest ways that IoT improves our lives is through the use of crumbs, small packets of data containing your unique identifying information. Okay, well, I've talked about crumbs before. I'm not going to read all that. And okay, cool. Didn't you read the financial section today? I'm more of a Sudoku gal. We can't all be as well read as Renar Diamani. I'm sending you the links. Read them. And the rest of the news too. Proposition 492 is going to be on the ballot this year. Shouldn't vote on it blindly. For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside the law, you sure take your civic duties seriously. Information brokering isn't illegal. What people choose to do with my advice. You declare the income board on your taxes. Sorry. Sorry, I promise to take a look at what you sent over. Whew. Let me see. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to the infrastructure, public works, and funding of the city programs will be on the ballot soon. read on to get an overview of some of the most hotly anticipated issues you'll be able to vote on in the coming months. Proposition 436, 20, petition for City Council to commission cost analysis on public schooling. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions, typically associated with one or more corporate benefactors. While this has eased the expense of childcare and pre-university education for many families, some citizens regularly voice concern over children being treated as customers first and students second. There are several schools throughout the city that accept students at no cost to their parents, but these are reliant on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption, and are generally seen as subpar environments for learning. Oh, shit. Why? Wait, am I playing on both? Okay. Sorry, I don't know why that hit a bunch of buttons. Get back to the article I was reading. If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling into the city. I'm going to summarize. Atlas Pillar rejuvenation projects will fund the renovation of Atlas Pillars around the lower wards. Stabilizing the canopy, don't want to drop it like Final Fantasy VII. Reducing unemployment in the target regions. Yeah, so. And renaming the pillars of community. Acid snow. Bunch of acid rain victims in the city. Okay. Yeah, how can you be calm? A chance like this doesn't come around. Well, ever. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put up the funds it took to commission this thing. What do you think changed? Oh, wait, hold on. I realize I don't have game audio. Apologies again. OT Devil. Okay. Just bring that down. Okay, I think that should be at a good level now. Let's see if that works. Bring it ever so slightly down. Okay, there we go. Right there. That's good. Is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks. Is what I would say if I was feeling comedic. Don't joke about heartbreak before sending a woman off in the lower wards by herself. There's such a delicate flower in need of protection. Criminal, defense attorney is Favorite flower, the funny looking red ones. Morgan, I love you, but she dislikes the violin. She does like prime numbers though, so it kind of balances out there. How about you start feeling analytic and give your real answer? Fine, in my humble opinion, the Rust made the first move. Demand for their products has gone up, so they set their work to their syringes and cleavers and bands. Mobile shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap. Supply gap? You can't split without landing on a Vitruvian clinic. How's the biggest it's ever been? What mods aren't being printed to demand? Okay, we know what a mod is at this point in the game. Reading through. Okay, same term as before. Replacement parts, not the mods that the Rust harvest. Vitruvian, Hal, and the others aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump. They just want to sell you a whole new model. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens will gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep. A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey. Correct. Hence, the Rust stockpiling weapons, and in response, the Blue Bloods sensing escalation. That's just my hypothesis. I ever get cold in an alley and wake up missing it. Okay. Your basic, Yakuza Mafia, some hiring out by the corporations, though, to semi-legitimize. I ever get pulled in an alley and wake up missing a kidney, we'll call it a formal theory. It's not like we're talking a weapon of mass destruction. What makes the Blues think they can win a gang war with it? Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it. The idea lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows, neon, and advertisements galore float up past us like bubbles of air as we make our descent. Down into our beautiful city's scenic lower wards. How's this part go again? Through me to the city of woe. Through me to the eternal dough. Through me, the way among the lost. Inferno, Canto 3. Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Hold on, Hold on. I just want to see if my soundboard goes through at all. I don't think it does, but just know that I played the jackpot from Devil May Cry 3 right there. What's the official forecast? More accurate than whatever's on your phone. Between the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines of the canopy, every city block's got its own climate down here. 9 circles of fresh hell. If you get the reference, say something. Don't make me feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds. The smog of the lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back out. This place clings to you, unwanted, cloying attachment. There's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. It's got a nightlife rife with opportunities for someone of my particular interest. Sorry I couldn't get you anything to work with. It was short notice. I know better than to bet against you, Red. But still. It's sweet of you not to worry. But this is a surefire thing. Spoken like a true addict. I mean it. I'm here for business, not pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. Avoid the populated streets, turn away from brightly lit spots. Follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands and steam vents down the rabbit hole. It sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town, as long as you're trying to. Reinhardt's map narrowed the search a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. It's gotta be one of these 3 buildings. Let's go over what I know. I'm looking for a base of operations for a mid-tier kind of pod. Rougher than a storefront, not as fortified as a headquarters. Location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. First, I'd just start knocking on doors. They'll probably find me with weapons drawn. I want to be smarter though, so I want to better use all my senses. Okay, actually, they. Just because that was new. Well, this place looks like shit. Looks more like a haunt, just dry enough for users to pass out and anything else. It's pretty inconspicuous, but dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. I doubt they'd be willing to have to step over trash constantly just to keep a low profile. Bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt the least. A couple bodies lingering around just outside it. They don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge. Or ORCA, which is a cute acronym. A group of orcas may be called a pod, while a known gathering place may be called a den. Wait, are my credits supposed to be back down at 0? I'd love to buy something else, but also, like, how could I ever beat Morgan time? Oh, Bunny Suit Reyes is just in the game. That's neat. Okay. London head empty. Angry Reyes. Very cute little Sato there. Okay, actually, I will keep it on Sarah as good as Morgan time is. No, where's Teal? Teal. It was certainly dark. There's the camera out front, and it's not broken. Overall, it's probably just some mechanic rush that shuts down the power to save money at night. Windows are all dark, like no one's home. But they're all shut too, so it could be that they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape's still there for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit if need be. That door looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off. Someone's been renovating. Okay, might as well pull the trigger. Dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it. This is my best shot. But why do I feel like I'm being watched? Hey. Great acting. You supposed to be the lookout? Red Hood? What'd you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap to the face, but it's odd. go away? At least I can take direction. Whatever, a lookout being around just confirms that I picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? Keep it simple, I guess. No answer. Tried knocking a pattern. Shaving a haircut. No, that'd be silly. Hey! You open? Okay. I have money, actually. I have a dark card. That should have provoked a reaction. A grunt, footstep, something. I place my hand against the door absent-mindedly, ready to move to plan B, and I feel movement. Locks being checked, perhaps a doorknob palmed? Anxiety and curiosity pitted against one each other by an onlooking greed. How do you enter a closed room? First, you try pushing. And that doesn't work. Naturally, you. Forget it. I'll find some other. No need for master keys or any other trickery. If you know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Like magic. The door's not the only thing that's been reinforced around here. This apartment building, motel, whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallways blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture, access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. They took a maze and drowned it into a one-way street. Maybe a shooting gallery, with blaring musical accompaniment. Don't get any ideas, got no vacancy. And here I thought I'd found my dream home, Mr. Call me Trey. And too bad. Like vending machines, skate parks, ice chips, just like rich kids, fried beard and cops. Arrest 2 convictions, to arrest 1 conviction. No expenses. Okay. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out? Of course we do. This is a business. Right, and you see a lot of demand? This is the lower wards, bitch. He sighs the word without emphasis, like a sorry, I added emphasis myself. Okay. Like a subconscious honorific. I'm not honored, but I can't find it in myself to be offended either. Tons of stray ducks will pay top for a sight to lay low a night or two. I can see why. This is the hallway. The rooms are clean. Sure. Look, the doors are heavy, the locks are all physical, and it's quiet. So this is a safe house for rent? Safe rooms for rent. But like I said, we're not open for business right now. Curious. Come on, up the stairs already. No mask up when we get there. I'm curiouser. A good mask is like a good pair of boots from the lower ward. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. And if you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is. Seriously, stuff it in your pocket now. Forgot I was wearing it. Why so nervous, though? We're not... I mean, I ain't nervous. Nothing to worry about, then. Yeah, but you need to lose those gloves, too. That's their game. This isn't a power move, it's insurance. If this place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure the shithole remains a hidden gem. Reasonable idea on their part, but doesn't change my answer. Refused. That's not happening. Bitch. Whatever. Have fun explaining to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions. That does sound fun. Watch it. You're a guest here. I guess I'm a paying customer. If you try and get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review. You haven't paid yet. Come on. Right behind you. Through here? Yeah, hey, I'll get the door. Ha. Howdy. Where the hell you find her? Must have fallen out of the canopy ripe as shit fruit. She didn't fall in the damn sky. That means Trey opened the door for her. Right, Trey? Thanks. Come on, sheep. How hard is it to not open a goddamn door? Well, she has... Shut up. Others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal. The big guy's always like this. This outburst to give me a moment of taking the scenic view. Brings a tear to the eye. You. Me? Who else? Get that. A cigarette. It's laced with the... Yes, the cigarette wasted. Okay. Weed cigarette. Or don't. I'd love an excuse to kick your ass back down those stairs. They think I'm a cop? They think I'm a cop and cops can't use drugs when undercover. I could quote them the exact law that invalidates legal defense, but I gathered that wouldn't assuage their concerns. Well, what's going to be? Don't mind if I do. I love free shit. Hey. Damn, bitch, breathe. But you offered... Trey, who the hell is this red bitch? You trying to jinx us? She's a customer. I know she's a customer. We get customers every other day of the goddamn year. Why'd you have to bring her in tonight? There we go. This is it. I found the place. Well. I love that I just noticed that the song title is called Menus for Days. That is just peak fiction right there. Also, still have a Bomb Rush Cyberpunk scene in my tracker. There we go. Look at me. Don't talk to Creek. Talk to me. She's got a dark card. Whew. Ran the cereal downstairs. Scanner got hit like a hand warmer trying to crunch it, so it's legit, right? Dark card, eh? Entrepreneur. Case dismissed. Case dismissed. Any pronouns, hell yeah. Why not? Hard enough to start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of their leadership structure, they're all looking to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden. Yeah, but tonight, Creek? With all the other shit we were expected to shovel? Hey! Shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer. Customer, you think the world was old toothpaste the way he spat it out. Translation, outsider. Yeah, Miller, I know. Evans Miller smiles. Dislikes cops. Yep. All the more reason we should tell this bitch to get slagged. Look, she's here now. Why not take her money? You know what? I got a better idea. Apply directly to forehead. Loud one, Tanks, is pressing a barrel directly into my forehead. Why not take her for all she's got? Metal feels cool on my skin. Reminds me of the stethoscope. Breathe in, and try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek. Hey now, you can put that away. He reholstered his firearm with so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tears, like I thought, they've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety. Get screwed. So we good? We're good. We're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. A lot of moving parts neath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Still in hover, yeah? Of course. You won't even notice I'm here. What? Nothing. You're just kind of like glaring at me. It's my job to glare. Hank's just superstitious. Though I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive. I am not. That's a black cat on my way in or something. Get your clothes. Again? Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code. It's not a code, it's just a bad goddamn luck to wear red. Bad luck to see red, man. Same thing. Now you see the Red Hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you. Great, it'll only doom us. I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. Really? You were blending in so well. The Red Rider Hood, the Shingami, the Grim Reaper of the lower wards? Spot her on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Come on, Creek, don't start that shit when you don't even believe it. You don't have to believe it when you have heard the rhyme. You've never heard of the Red Rider Hood? Little girl in the fog in a big red raincoat? Misted in a crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers, wanders the ward seeking revenge. Oh, I gotta do it faster to get the term. Yeah, I didn't do that. Okay. No, never. Thought even uptowners knew this stuff. You gonna tell me you've never heard of the Cyberpunk or the Little Lord yet? Are co-ops illegal? Guess I don't have good ear for this kind of thing. Maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are. Says the grown man sweating this ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk away under any ladders for the rest of the night we call it even? Walk under any? Where would you even find it? Oh, did you mean the stepladder? Now who's afraid? You look pale as spit. Because for some reason I just got the horrible feeling that I lost a bet. The door was nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. What was it originally? Is that a walk-in freezer or something? What? No, we had an agreement about hovering, yeah? Yeah. It's barred from this side. Did I interrupt a game? What's your poison? 5 card, full blind? Monaco rules? Monaco does rules. Sorry. Oh, that's spelled differently. Are those games? We just screw around with whatever we got to kill time, lady. You know your stuff. You ever play around here? Now and then. The hell? You go summon for card games? Now and then. Have I seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s? Sorry, must have been some other redhead. Damn, thought I'd finally gotten my second chance at getting that beauty's contacts. You practice that one a lot. Practice it a little. How's it working? Keep practicing. You good, buddy? Looking a little sweaty. Well, that's because I was exercising before you showed up. Uh-huh. Bitch, you don't believe me? How do you think we defend what is ours down here? I assume the gun I was acquainted with was just now played a role. Think we can afford to break the bank on bullets? Easy to buy a gun, pull in the triggers. Also easy. Like kissing it goodbye, it'll rat you out the first chance it gets. An aversion to firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. Big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them it comes down to crowbars, knives, clubs, and mods. I'm sure you all do very well to fight in your fistfights. Fistfight is juvie, sounds like recess shit. Sorry. Fisticuffs? Laugh it up. First time you hear the sound of a steel arm makes caving a skull in, you'll know exactly how we operate. Right, sorry. Doing inventory over there? Ouch. Must have caught you in the worst night of the quarter. Quarter? This ain't a mag operation, lady. We take our inventory... hate derogatory and hateful term for mega corporations and anyone who works for them. And yes, this is reused from the previous article. They have no idea why Meg might be short for Mega Corporation. Torture. You going to suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet, give everyone a sign off every hour? You got a special name for anything with more than one signature on it. A credit case. Racketeering. I'm pretty sure I've read this one before, so I'm not doing all of this text out loud, but I am reading through. Is it illegal to gather with people? He's corrupting the Crico acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. Paperwork brings down more for criminal organization than guns ever will. You have a half-decent account and one thread to pull on, and there can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day. Hey, what'd Creek say? Don't hover! Only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you? If you were bothering me, you'd know it. Alright, come here, pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job? Waitress. Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m., diners filter out, doors close at 10. They'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. Some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blank eyes expecting you to find him a table. Yeah, asshole behavior. Not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy. Even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy. A paying customer. Happy to have you. Just read the room, okay? Sure. And no haggling. Now what are you here for? Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build the story. Creek seems less high-strung than the others. He must have a few years and a couple promotions under his belt. He might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit he's on the same street, earning. Everyone above him is in more managerial positions. He's between crowds, isolated. And he seemed entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting all that together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over the goddamn screen. I grabbed the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turned off the screen. That's better. The hell you do that for? It was too loud. We like it loud. Screws with bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop? Keeping at that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time. Relax, Tanks. Cut her some slack. She smoked enough of your shitty roll, too. I was going to say fall over, but you seem... sober, me? Got chrome lungs or something? I've just always had a very high tolerance for that kind of thrill. You can do a bunch of drugs and not even enjoy it. Shit, you must have been popular in school. Not exactly. But clearly I'm not invincible. I'd never ask about myself if I wasn't at least a little stoned. My bad. We usually pride ourselves on not giving a shit who our customers are. Thanks for making me the exception. Now, as I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth. That sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something? Not that far off. His son's turning 18 and wants a party. An organic party. Hell's that supposed to mean? Hell if I know. But a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his star card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here. We get everything his son needs for the best graduation ever. That's rough. Pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour. Not in this part of the city. It's not safe. Speaking of which, Miller, stand up, raise your hands. I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me oddly, looking me up and down. It's not complimentary, he's searching for something. See, normally I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but... bosses, right? Yeah. Mine have been real micromanaging lately. It's kind of becoming a problem. So, we're taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, round the left pocket. Her eyes aren't modded. Did I give it away with my body language? Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe? Yes, I have a knife on me. Should have declared that on my papers. Would have been the polite thing to do, yeah. Sorry for the poor manners. But a pretty lady like me, at this part of town, I guess I was just being careful around new faces. Alright. You're letting her keep it? I got you here to protect us. Have to wonder, though. Why a high-power corporate mover shaker come in person? Why come to us? Why not cross the skywalk to the nearest Ikara-owned dispensary? Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? The hell are they so suspicious for? Who are the Ikaria? Name sounds vaguely familiar, but... well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. But these blue bloods are being this cautious around a playing customer. Sorry. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Ikaria have taken the lion's share of the city. I just didn't realize they had a monopoly, too. Hey, get it straight. The Ikaria won't be on top anymore once we... Never mind. Can we not do business? No one said that. So what it'll be? Well, I don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam, even if it'd be funny to watch. I figured I'd mostly buy just a bunch of downers and maybe a handful of uppers. Let's get half of them high off the atmosphere. Downers, huh? We got the new titration of lime last for hours. Yeah, they can stir it into their watered down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they? No, not until the morning at least. Alright, I can live with that. What do you got on the other end? Got plenty, as long as they don't mind hippos. Hypodermics. I feel like those baby shark types would get nervous around needles. Got anything they can inhale? Well, got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, and a smooth ride down. A bestseller, sounds great. Fortunately, it's in high demand, so... Nirvana... Getting really popular... I get that he's selling me drugs, but he doesn't have to really sell me drugs. Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it. Gladly. Typing away at his tablet like this, he looks almost white-collar. Checks out, right? The cereal's legit, so... Yeah, man. You already said that. It's encrypted, Trey. It's not meant to be a one-tap purchase. Dark card. The gold standard of untraceable fund transfer among the criminal and financial elite. Your average citizen won't recognize it as anything special. Looks like any other credit or debit card. Only reason I recognize it is because I get flashback all the time at my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. Hard to convert the funds back to cash, but if you want to buy or sell on the black market, you couldn't ask for better. So what the hell's going on? I'm dangling some very enticing bait here. Amenable mark spending money that's not her own. They should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me. Why? Interesting decor. Finally, someone notices. It's nice, right? It's called cherrywood. Redid the paint myself with the finish I had imported. It is a nice piece of furniture, Creek, but I was referring to your paperweight. Oh, that. You like it? Sure. It has a certain rustic simplicity. Though it's not exactly gleaming, have you considered giving it a polish? That'd be a crime. Oh? Polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize. Prize? It's not yours. Something I picked up on the job. A masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled as if it pained. Seems like I'm not their only guest tonight. Really wish you'd left the music on, lady. Sorry, you say something? I completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you said. Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything. Guess you aren't so stupid you can't even mind your own business. Speaking of my business, how are we looking? Card still processing. Sorry about that. Guess takes time to snake the wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty state can't track it. Takes power too, apparently. Batteries plummeting. The dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth. Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good before it palmed it off his corpse. Must be a careful guy delegating you to come down here with this. Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He has no idea what any of this shit costs. Ah. If I treat myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd ever know the difference. Good on you, ripping off the bastard, a woman after my own heart. There it is. Now I just need 2 thumbs and a password for verification and we're golden. There a problem? Yeah, is there a problem? No, no problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard. What's that? It's a blue blood had done something special recently. Can't trust everything you hear out there. Or read, or see. No, of course not. But is it true? A no mask? Like the man said, you gotta be careful what stories you listen to. Come on, what would it even cost? A couple thousand? Heh. I wouldn't know. I'm no art appraiser. But I do know that it's rare. Fun fact, no means talent, but I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean, them, if they exist, which, they don't. If you want a mask, you've already got one on your chin, lady. State puts up cameras, we put on masks. State adds layered skins, we wear helmets. High-tech climbs higher, low-tech punches lower. Back and forth, up the escalators. But a no mask got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock. Anti-facial recognition, fractalized active defense. Any camera scanner or ad looks at that mask, they'll see. Okay, wait. Within a face, until fatal error. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. With a no mask, you could walk down the busiest street. And brick every camera in half a kilometer. You know your stuff. Buyer beware. But if this mask could do half of what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it easily. So how much? More than you can afford, that's for sure. I don't know about that. I've got pretty nice stock options. Maybe you do have the money. That's not the issue. I can't sell it. It's already been spoken for. End of discussion. Well, sure, you can't sell something that's been spoken for. But things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carriers showing up the wrong address. Missing packages ending up in the back of storage facilities. Merchandise falling off the back of the proverbial truck. Heh, you weren't sent here on some errand. Shit. What is it? Take a long look, boys, because you may never get another chance. We're breathing in the same air as a genuine consultant. She's some kind of mega spy? If I was, couldn't exactly come out and say, now, could I? Oh shit. Is it really this easy? Yeah, that's real smart talk. Now give me one reason I shouldn't paint your brains onto the wall. Because I still haven't paid for my purchase? Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. They teach you that at some fancy uptown corporate school. Was it something you were born with? Something I was born with? Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honesty always speeds up the negotiation. So in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too? How's that? You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. Only reason you detain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door. It's because I have something rare that you desperately need. Don't assume desperation or need. How about want? You want the dark hearted on itself, not whatever shitcoin currency it holds. I'm just seeing if I can boost my... There we go. No. Okay. I think I'm fine if I just speak up. It's just... I might have to adjust the debouncing later, but I'll look at that. I think we're fine. And why is that? To steal from your bosses. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're the ones stealing from us. Yes, I'm sure you have very legitimate grounds for a wage substitute, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance, you want a wallet they don't have eyes on. And since your tall friend hasn't misted me yet, it seems like you're willing to barter for it. So, the card for the mask. Not even close. The card plus 2 quarters worth of my salary. That's nearly... No, sister, you don't have the cash for this purchase. And it ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for. I don't like it, but not cash then. Might as well try it. What about information instead? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it'd have to be one hell of a piece of intel. I could give you heartbreak. What'd she say? Funny. That is funny. Heartbreak. The world famous anarcho-terrorist in the country at some Meg's beck and call. Upgraded to anarcho-terrorist now. Ugh. Lots of people were laughing very hard, having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills. Hold up, seriously? No, why do people buy this conspiracy shit so easily? I don't get the joke. Why would we want heartbreak? To learn from him? Make an example of him? Hire him? You blue bloods have been fighting the Rust, the Icaria, the state, and everyone who wants a peace for decades. Yet Heartbreak's gotten more notoriety than you all combined in only a few months. So just checking one last thing. Okay, back. Sorry. If he was sitting right in front of you, the following scene contains loud noises, flashes of light, depictions of violence and gore. Yeah, I know what game to play. Hell of a bluff, I'll give you that. Thought it was worth a try. Sorry, just procrastinating to have to go back to my superiors empty-handed. No, it was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the dark cards, just... That mask is a death sentence, crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until... sounds like you've got your own office politics to worry about. Getting pulled in every direction. I know the feeling. Well, that was a bunch of drama for nothing. She going to buy or what, Creek? Oh, I'm still buying. Not for some kid's party, obviously. Plan is we're going to spike the competition at this meet and greet, make the customer think they're drilling idiots. Mask was always a long shot. I was just personally curious. Curiosity can get you into trouble down here at the bottom of the world. Don't worry. I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion. I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please. Sure, I'll just take off my gloves here. Oh yeah. I make a snap with my right hand as my left extends towards the desk. Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? Back to it. Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? Yeah, actually. Hold on. Where's my backlog? Less than one heartbeat. Backlog isn't. There we go. I did tell him to mind the safety. Huh? The big one made a small noise as he looked down to see that his own gun had blown a his-sized chunk out of his torso. Holy shit! He jumped up fast. I was expecting to blow his head off. From behind, I motioned a shape charging towards me. Spinning left to draw my knife, exhale, and lower my shoulders. There. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging from his right. Bad instinct. He must have gotten used to those sparklers making people flinch. I stepped in, and his bicep smacked dully onto my shoulder. So I placed my knife directly into his cartoid. Yeah. He's gripping that knife with all the strength he has left. Wait, is he really going to try and pull it out? But someone's been stabbed! What do when applying first aid to a puncture wound? Moving the foreign object is not recommended as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. No, hold on. Another bad instinct. Oxygen cut off to the brain, already losing vision. Red. And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of the dumpster. That just leaves. He hasn't moved a muscle, newest member, weakest in the pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 20/20. Double-barreled, 2-shot spent. Miller still has my knife in a literal death grip. Have to improvise with this last one. What the hell? Why not? Oh shit. Though come to think of it, how do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess. Oh, of the devil. His due. Episode 2. His due. Barely got 3 centimeters into his nest. Must have hit a vertebrae and got stuck dead. Still got the job done after a few whacks, but, well, it was my first time with the sword. I've never been very good with anything the first time. I've always needed lots of practice. Okay, the music should have deadened the sound of the gunfire, and that gun wasn't heavily modified. Somehow still has its tags, it can't possibly be functioning properly. I've got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on. Yeah, shit. Wow, someone's lively. What? Who the hell? Some kind of mod keeping him alive? The cruelty under his circumstances. I could hear that slug tear his intestines apart. The pain alone should have knocked him out cold, yet his fingers are limp, his eyes sharp. Paralyzed. There are rules, I thought. Blood spooling fast. You've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes for what? Everything. You're no mag assassin. You're too talkative. Who sent you, Fox Grey Lady? All that red. You the rest knew it's rabid dog, caribou? It's cute how you all give each other nicknames. You're a civilian? Where's the mask? Well, go to hell. You looked right at the desk drawer. I thought you said you played poker. Need your keys. A civilian thief? Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved. You're out of your goddamn mind! I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but you really want to be rude? You seem like you can take it. The key clicks into the small safe and I pull up the door to reveal paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text, all printed in red. This is important. Ha, so considerate. Now just throw it anywhere. Okay. I was joking! 3 minutes now. Sarcasm will cost you time you don't have. There it is, a gleaming darkness at the back of the safe. Is that it? You, all of this, all of us, for that? Just for that? I get asked that question a lot. Can I just take it with share? Would you feel better if I'd killed you for a different reason? I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach. Would it have hurt any less? You still got more than 2 minutes, plenty of time. I can spin up, on me. I bring the mask to my face and for a brief moment the surface seems to writhe. It's trying to adjust itself to me. Suppose that makes sense, you wanting a mask that bad. If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. Hit a nerve? Or it must be the worst kind of feeling, being seen. Seen by someone you can't even hurt anymore. Well, I see you, heartbreak. Yeah, big bad, faceless, heartbreak. I'm just a dumbass punk, but even I could make you... Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking. First honest thing you've said. What gives, HBK? You're certainly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories out the window. You go around killing because your daddy smack you around? Your mommy not hug you enough. My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me. A sufficient amount. So what the hell's your excuse? I don't make excuses. And what the hell's wrong with you? Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis if you'd like. Or would you prefer I just come over there and squeeze? How many? Another question straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread? Never gotten a gluten-free bitch. Whatever, point is, I'm not a collector. This is not my hobby. I do not keep count. There is no code. I do what I want as often as I want to. Do what thou wilt, whole of the law. Is that it? I don't know what you're referencing, but from where you're sitting, do I really look like the law-abiding type? I bring the mask down to my face and again its surface seems to shudder. Forget it, at least I know you deserve what's coming. Heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments, Creek. They're never that memorable. I told you that mask was a death sentence, that it was spoken for. They called on a huntsman from overseas, home turf. Huntsman can become anyone, go anywhere, kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rest. That mask is part of his payment. He'll be looking for it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. What's that supposed to mean? Finders keepers. Yeah, forget it. I don't need to scare you. Huntsman, hunter, too much meaning loss. Always thought the better translation was pelt taker. He'll find you, flay you alive, wear your skin, then go and murder. She laughs. What a face. Should have taken you up on that dipping out early. Anything would be dying staring at a face like that. So, a huntsman coming to get me? No, the dead and dying make for strong bluffers. And I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. I need to scuff things up a bit more, make this look more like an orca shootout than, well, a visit from me. Let's see. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything, so I'd never bothered to retrieve one from a dead man's grip. But I might have a need for a knife again shortly, so I'll be taking this back, Miller. I had to pry. Why is it that the dead are always grasping? The sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned, but now I'll have to remove it for this next part. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong, educated guess at the price range. If they back up any data, it can't be more often than once an hour. Be 10 o'clock soon. Gonna need something with some heft to it. Skull? See no evil. The bat's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. Sword is fine where it is. Not going to fade and risk nicking myself with it. That's all the burning issues addressed. And take care of the chores. I had to remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dark card. That means I'd handled all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously I'll need to wipe off the prints off my gun and this knife. But I put my gloves on before opening Creek safe and tracking Trey's skull. So what does that leave? Oh shit. Remember everything Morgan handled. That'll try to place on this fingerprint. If you're sure you got everything you could have moved on, right? Focus, no mistakes. This remote I used to distract the big guy. Need to wipe my prints off at first, but should I turn the music back off? No, it was playing when I first walked in. Best to preserve continuity. Besides, what was it you said? We like it loud, screws the bugs. He was right about that much. Little smokescreen never hurts. Sword. I gripped the handle with both hands when I brought it down on his neck. Thinking back, I dragged the tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit, probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. I'm stupid, why the hell did I? No, forget it, there's nothing I can do about it anyways. Fingerprints making life, there's no cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from modern forensic team. Not looking to do an encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn pickle bobbies. The dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if it's the reason I'm gonna have to go around wiping off prints. I'll never be able to pull funds off it, but I might be able to use it again if it's stuck. Peak must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. No way I'm gonna risk taking the whole reader with me. Could have any number of pings and strings leading back to the manufacturer, even the blue bloods themselves. No, I'll wipe the dark card off and set the whole reader back on the desk. For anyone knows, Creek's father mugged it off from slumber and would try in vain to get beer money off it. That cigarette was in my mouth. Prints can be removed with the swipe of a sleeve, but saliva's no choice. I'll have to take it with me and dispose of it somewhere far away. Smoke it down to nothing if I'm feeling masochistic. Tasted like microwave sand sprinkled with aluminum and artificial sweetener. Cigarettes do scatter particulates. If forensics finds them but can't match them to a source. Well, so what? All they know there was a horrible split here at one point. Be pretty funny to see this drawn up as a quadruple homicide drug robbery with a payload of exactly one shitty blunt. Right, the keys I took off him to open the safe. Does he have a made keychain of himself? The blue bloods are going to find out I took the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give them any hints. On the off chance the police get here first, I'd rather they not investigate this robbery. All that's to say, you can have these back, Creek. Okay, I think we're probably good. Can't exactly spend all night this when we get here. Yeah, okay, this feels like the scene's been set. Strange sensation racing your own presence. Sense of supremely private accomplishment. Like placing the last piece into a milk white jigsaw puzzle and then throwing it in the trash. It's not unpleasant, but I can't linger any longer. Time to draw this to a close. Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells goddamn awful and inhaled, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit since full of adrenaline and sickly heat. Unfiltered, I'd be at great risk of getting sick if it weren't for all the blood. Right. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound about plastic ties and linen wrap, and speeding bloody end. Drugged, these syringes, they wanted him to stay conscious. Not very popular. Still, you're not dead. With these kinds of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. That might be the most charitable thing to do under the circumstances. He must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad. The bat that barred the store is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize this room was locked from the outside. If this captive had somehow gotten his hands on a blade, there'd be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. Blue Bloods will want someone to blame for the deaths of 4 of their men. Unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. Hold that for me. It's for the gun. What's with the... All I did was tuck the gun in your waistband, pal. Oh. Okay, I can see that'll be distressing under the circumstances. We can relax about that. It's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're going to wish it was. Out again already? Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. Like I practiced. Irashi! Pardon? Keep working on it, kid. Bar Kintsugi. Didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of training your new employee. How's it working out? Gosh, it is she, right? Never worked this close with an ad before. She is unbearably forgiving, so I doubt you'll get sued. She's fine. Good at cleaning, precise with her mixing, knows a hell of a lot of trivia. Popular with the younger crowd, I think. This is the place with the android bartender? They talk like you installed a new karaoke machine. I didn't know you had a younger crowd. Funny, what's that make you, Grandma? More of a learning curve to her than I was expecting. Did you cheap out on her base installs? It's like I have to teach her everything. Trust me, there's nothing cheap about Sarah. I just love the winking pose, it's the best. Useless talent. I can do a full split, but that is not it. Useless. But yes, she can take a minute when learning the ropes. Grin and bear it a while longer. Once she does find your footing, she'll have you worried about your job security in no time. Keep it up. I didn't have to do you the favor of hiring her, you know. Favor? Plenty of people out there who would kill to work at an up-and-coming, bespoke establishment like Bar Kintsugi. I think I hear them pounding on the door now. Technically, legally, you didn't hire anyone. I generously agreed to loan you my android during the hours when I have no use for it. These kinds of arrangements aren't uncommon. Androids can, in theory, work 24 hours a day, indefinitely, but their users can't. Parents come home from work, people go to sleep, staff take holidays, offices close for the night. End result of all that slack is a lot of androids spend a good portion of their operating time waiting around. So the more enterprising owners loan them out during that downtime, ideally to businesses with complementary working hours. There are plenty of apps and HR software to help arrange it all. But Sarah's apprenticeship wasn't that on the books. After the fallout around David's step settled down, I came to realize exactly how shortchanged I was into our paralegal agreement. She's handy for research and rote work, of course, but she barely sleeps, rarely eats, finishes paperwork at a lightning speed. I was spending more time finding shit to keep her busy than I was actually working. And of course, I value my time alone. So on one of those long walks of mine that I called Reinhardt was having trouble getting his bar up and running. It takes a village to keep the world's most advanced android busy. Yeah, alone, whatever. Sarah's the one who clocks in and clocks out, does the work, cleans the bathroom. She's the employee. If she was an employee, you'd have to cover her benefits. Not in my current income bracket. I checked 3 times. Wait, you're not taking her paycheck, are you? It's not a paycheck. Don't lawyer me on this shit. Sarah can't earn a paycheck. She's not a person. If she walks like a person and talks like a person and works like a person, the Supreme Court disagrees by 13-0. Yeah, well, Supreme Courts have been wrong about that kind of thing before, haven't they? Oh, do I hear a touche? Sarah, tell boss here what you spend your salary on. Pet peeve, websites that take too long to load. Don't ask how long the website takes to load. I have started purchasing cases of wine. What? That's what those deliveries were? As the wine appreciates, its resale value will increase. Especially if I can predict which vintages will be in high demand. Since I don't have a bank account, I can't earn interest in the traditional sense, but if I stay up to date on the sub-year reviews, sorry for breaking, I just love the idea that Sarah is investing from wine. It just reminds me of the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they tried to take out a loan to buy gasoline and just store it like for several months to sell it back later. So resell the wine at a profit, and what will you do with that money? Stop it, you're making her depressed. I did also purchase a cache of sheet music. What for? Practice? You're muttering. Forget it, none of my business. Speaking of business, this place isn't exactly packed. Well, are you volunteering to help out with that? There are lawyer bars, right? Where all the lawyers go after trials. Kintsugi could be a lawyer bar. Yeah, those lawyer bars are usually close to the courthouse, though. Just don't. Everything's signed in pain. I can't even think about what ifs on location anymore. This spot is available, and I need a still of water with all this stress on my stomach. Sarah, 10 bar. What you buying, stranger? What was that? Boss is teaching me his barside manner. He says that his clientele expects a certain degree of maturity when they come here. And so you're using a deeper voice? Is it not working? Please let me know when you're ready to order. It's a lucky cat. Yeah, did you say something, Adani? No. It's suddenly got the strong impression that there's something you wanted to say. Don't know what you're talking about. As you say. Wait, I thought I already had this. Is that not an episode 0? Like for playing the demo? Well-stocked bar, got tea and coffee if that's what you're into. Nice ambiance, soft lighting, warm on a chill night and cool on a hot day. Now all that's left to do is wait for the customers to stream in. Any day now. Ryan must have searched for months to find affordable underground real estate that wasn't flooded, or already filled to the brim with server farms. Putting Sir on cleaning duty was a good call. If any of the tiling in here starts to grind on, it can still start feeling like a subway station bathroom real fast. Someone leave this bed. I think after their lunch break? Could be trouble if they left anything work-related on here. I'll help them by throwing it in the trash after I'm done reading. Sirius debutes new fuel named in last lawsuit. Last month, Dr. Sirius made waves in the scientific community for the dozenth time in their storied career. When they announced they had patented the process of distilling a new helium-based fuel, one intended to replace hydrogen and combustion engines ranging from personal vehicles to full-size freighters. Only a few days later, they made headlines when their patent was leaked to the global net. Now Proteca, an investment firm and longtime financial backer of Dr. Sirius, has filed a lawsuit alleging that not only has Dr. Sirius failed in their responsibilities to protect their investments, but actually allowed the leak to occur. We sat down with Dr. Sirius to ask them to respond to the suit's allegations. And to question them about their recurring legal woes. For those who may not be familiar, what makes your process for distilling helium fuel so valuable? In this world, if you're not plugged into an outlet, you're running on a battery or you're burning fuel. Batteries are useful, but they scale poorly. A battery-powered phone is light enough to be weightless in your pocket. A battery-powered plane can generate enough lift to get off the ground. Now, aside from a number of closely guarded national reserves, there are no fossil fuels left. The walls were pumped dry years ago, so after we were forced to adapt in a rather abrupt period of growing pains, hydrogen has become the global standard for fueling and... Wait, hold on. I'm not even, reading the rest of it. I will read the rest of it. I just, moving to hydrogen as a standard, I'm just suddenly thinking of the Hindenburg. We have definitely, this is why airships are a Final Fantasy thing and not a in real life thing, even after we had them for a while. Therein lies the problem. The plane I took here runs on hydrogen. It produces nothing but water vapor. What's the problem? The problem was the laborers fueling your plane before it took off had their fingers crossed the entire time, afraid that if the absolute grounding field failed, one spark could blow up the entire airport. What makes helium superior? The helium-2 fuel we've developed is not pure helium, to be clear, but near enough. Unlike hydrogen fuels, what we've created is non-combustible. You could fire a flamethrower over a tank of it and remain perfectly safe. How does a non-combustible fuel power combustion engines? Helium-2 is non-combustible, but in the presence of our specialized catalyst, it can be ignited to generate force comparable to, or in some tests superior to, the horsepower exhibited by hydrogen engines. What's the catch? So far, it's expensive to distill, and the catalyst materials are often even more expensive to produce. We have yet to even simulate a profitable commercial flight, for instance. That's a pretty serious catch. Steel wasn't profitable before the Bessemer process. Things panned out for the steel tycoons just fine. Are you hoping for someone else to do that? Improve upon your process? I know where you're going with this, but the answer is yes, of course. I'd be overjoyed for someone to improve upon what we built. That's essentially what you're doing. Proteca is accused you of doing, isn't it? Leaking your own data intentionally so others around the world are free to start experimenting with it? I don't think it's legally wise of me to try and summarize Proteca's lawsuit against me in my laboratory. Listen, energy is limitless. It cannot be expended. By that virtue, there cannot be a scarcity of it. You will never have a monopoly of it. And since it is infinite, the correct market price for it over a long enough time scale will trend to zero. I don't think I'm being cynical when I say there are people who don't like that very basic math. I'm going to stop you because you're getting into the next topic. Your politics. Do you consider yourself a political person? No. Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? No. Do you believe science should be apolitical? Yes. So why is it that you are frequently invoked as an example of liberal bias in sciences? Science is not political. Science is progress, moving forward, learning more about our universe, deepening our understanding of its mechanics, and that process will never be conservative. Science doesn't move backwards. Calling all conservatives backwards is not what I said, but you're free to interpret this as you like. What's not open to debate is this. What makes something science has nothing to do with who works on it. It has nothing to do with class or power or money or even majority rule. Science is reproducible, no miracles required. Miracles are prohibited. If one person can do it, anyone can do it, and science is inherently egalitarian. If someone feels that because of that, science is a bias against them, that speaks only to their own politics, not the failings of the scientific community too. Log into your Review Plus account with your passkey or net provider to finish reading this article and see so much more. I need a breather. Gee. Your pop size figurehead series sure keeps busy. Sorry, just winded after that article. I guess I don't have any evidence proving they aren't legitimately brilliant. I can't take anyone seriously who get guest stars on TV that much. Can't deny they seem to be making progress with new kinds of... Could solve that issue a century ago if we kept boiling water with uranium, but this is for the bigger deal that Sirius is developing new fuels. Please don't throw that databed out, its owner might come back. Perish the thought. Now that you planted the idea in my head. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I think I'm ready to order. Of course. Now take this, Sarah. Go wipe off the tables for a bit. No one has sat in them since I last cleaned them. Then pretend to clean them, like a normal employee. Understood. What's got you so tense? Take a wild guess. Did Sarah ask for a raise? Be serious, Red. What happened last night? Your information was accurate for the most part. A pod of mid-level blue bloods had it seem like they were told to sit on it. Were they willing to sell? Nope. Laughed at my price, called me a spoiled Meg, and kicked my butt out the door. They weren't curious where you got your information from. Honestly, no. They rushed me out of there pretty fast once they heard my offer. Were they expecting more company? I got the impression they had work to get back to. Okay. Anything else you should know? No. Anything you want to ask me? How'd you two meet? The tables. Oh, so that's so catchy. I'm very curious to look at the credits and soundtrack for this episode in particular because I know Lena Raine did a couple. I'm not quite sure if this is hers, but it's very energetic and I love it. I mean, whoever it is, it's a very good song. I'll definitely check the credits for everyone involved later. On my second day, you kept telling me not to over-polish them in order to keep things sloppy. Lo-fi. Is that inappropriate of a question? You've lived in the city for decades, boss, but Adani didn't move here until she started apprenticeship at Masters, and if If you're going to tell people my whole life story at every possible opportunity, I should head my resume and start mailing you around instead. How'd we meet, huh? Well, that story is not very good. I'll skip to the end and cut to the heart of our relationship, Sarah. I pay Reinhardt a finder's fee, and he tells me where I can get high-stakes poker games. It's not a lie. Now you know my terrible secret. Disappointed? It's not illegal to gamble. I don't go on my phone and wager my paycheck stubs on point spreads. I gamble. I can't afford the entrance fees for one of those anonymous mass ball cult vibe blimp casinos the rich go to. I count on your boss here to find me tables to play at. Guilty. So you travel to the lower wards to gamble illegally. Truth be told, I've had my suspicions. Seeing you go out at such odd hours without so much as your phone. You want to turn me in? Irashi! Or is it more form? Irashai? Two firm-looking men in finely pressed black suits with the shades tinted so dark they must need modded eyes to see from behind them. Despite the subtle color palette, they stand out. It's hard not to in clothes that expensive. Clothes with some kind of pin on them. Matching pins. More emphasis on the raw. Oh, thank you. Think I just heard the delivery drones bumping around outside, Sarah. Would you check out the back? Your vintages might have arrived. Go on. Please excuse me then. Afternoon then, gentlemen. What can I do you for? Mr. Diamani. Pardon us for dropping in without first making an appointment. No trouble at all. Still getting the place cleaned up. I'm awfully embarrassed that I failed to realize the property lay within your borders. If you'd come with me to the back, I'd be happy to settle whatever debt. We look like petty landlords to you. If you owed us tribute, you'd know it by now. My mistake. Well, if you're here for information, I'll gladly wheel and deal. How about you? We're not here to shop either. We're here looking for Morgan. Well, that name ring any bells, Mr. Diamani? Right, listen boys, I'm not sure. Sorry. Had something blaring in my ear, but I'm a Morgan, Esquire specifically. How can I be of service? I mostly practice criminal offense, but I do offer a few other services. You two look corporate. I can recommend some good workplace attorneys. I've got a business card somewhere. We're not interested in that. Of course not. Well, I'm flattered that you'd call all the way to meet me. You must have already tried the home office. We can set something up for... You need to come with us now, ma'am. Hey, I thought you said there was nothing I needed to know. Business day's over for me, gentlemen. Can this matter wait till tomorrow? Does it look like it can? Great manners, this one. Time sensitive, huh? My rate will have to reflect that. Send us the bill. We can afford it. Music to any lawyer's ears. So is we, then. You think you're funny? Compared to you. These fine gentlemen are from Harasikiaria. Oh, cool. Pays the stand form. Unfamiliar. You are? I've seen their names in the papers. I did remember that. They renamed the hospital. Okay. Plastering their name all over uptown opera houses and homes for the sick or whatever. They didn't recognize that name when those blue bloods were cursing it last night, so maybe that propaganda's working. No matter how generous they are at galas, they're still the richest and most popular criminal organization in the city. Rich and powerful. Why bother with the criminal qualifier? Sorry, might I ask about the nature of this engagement? The situation is developing, Mr. Diamani. We appreciate your patience. That's not what you want to hear. So I gathered. Your presence has been requested at the family estate, ma'am. For business or... The Ikaria are always business. Shall we get you your coat? Such gentlemen knew those suits weren't just for show. I can see myself out just fine, though. Adani! What's going on? Are you going somewhere? That's why they pay me the big bucks. These men are very athletic. Perhaps I should come with you. If they want to arm wrestle, you'll be the first to know. Call me when you get there, eh? If I'm actually in danger, I won't even be conscious when I arrive, but I appreciate the thought. Boss? Who were those men, really? New clients from Morgan, really? Hopefully. Hopefully? Yeah, hopefully. Because if House Ikaria puts her on retainer, she'll be able to buy you as much wine as you like. But what do you mean by house? Alright, pay attention. If I'm going to lecture, might as well try to teach. Start with ice. You want a lot of it, but low surface area, so never use crushed, okay? Starts to melt into the liquor, waters the whole thing down. Understood. 1.5 ounces of vodka. What do we look for in a good vodka? Smoothness. Correct, it's market quality, making the bitter go down easy. Bitters, salt, demerara. Sorry. Wait, no. Shit. Bitters, nostalgia, demerara. Historically, the ruling class has been forced through economic or military might and maintained by familiar relations. Choose of a full line. Look for a little spring and consistent color across the skin. Nobility, old money is another word for it, and the older it is, the slower it moves. Only so much wealth you can accrue in one lifetime, collecting from serfs and selling horses. But when the Industrial Revolution comes along, shows the world what real wealth acquisition looks like, then you get the new money, which always dwarfs old money. Inflation and split inheritances shave away at any generational wealth that's liquid. Now, new money and old money, they don't like each other. Doesn't new money eventually become old money? If the old money can help it, no one ever becomes old money. Triple sec, 1 ounce. My family was new money. Tried to make the transition. Join the right club, shake the right hands, make the right marriages. Laugh at the bad jokes. Bad jokes can be entertaining in their own right. Not the kind of bad I'm talking about. I don't understand. That's alright, you shouldn't need to know. But what do you mean your family was new money? Times changed. About 30 years ago, recession, depression, civil unrest, political upheaval. Most people, they were so scared they could barely think about tomorrow, let alone next year. But a decent man's chaos is a cruel man's investment opportunity. So while everyone else is out panic selling off everything they could do to buy food and water, a certain type of personality was buying. For pennies on the dollar, as it were. Give me a feel from that line. As shallow as possible. Any white you see is just bitter. Oh, sorry. 1 ounce of gin. Really want to mix a drink right now. I might. And at the end of it all, some were left standing with a lot more than they came in. New money. A new kind of new money. The new nobility. Neobility, if you're writing a think piece. Unabashed oligarchs and devourer barons. The governments of the world try and re-privatize the industries they'd taken over with emergency powers. They were there to snatch them. And they started at the bottom. Steel, fuel, grain, machine parts, medicine. Here enters House Ikaria. That's how they exited. They went into the red decade as the Ikaria cartel, drug smugglers and extortionists, thieves and murderers. They came out as one of the richest, most respectable names in the country. Not that they actually stopped doing any of that thieving, murdering, mind you. Put the top on tight, then shake. Say a crime family, like the mob? This is the 21st century, kid. It's muddier than that. House Ikaria is not literally one family, nor even one race or creed. They're simply the strongest criminal organization in the city on paper, but not in practice. Practice is what they're lacking. Haven't had to get their hands dirty, haven't had to maintain a presence in the lower wards in years. They make their profits from investments, blackmail, a little more insider trading. So they're criminal, yes, but their muscles atrophied. Time for a taste test. That's not right at all. The hell did I forget? Boss? Must have been other criminal organizations 30 years ago. Others paid to take advantage of the changing times. Yeah. So what did the Ikaria do to set themselves apart from the rest back then? Stupid, most important ingredient. Drop of grenadine. Lady Maria. Ooh! Sorry. They know what they're doing. Um, this is nothing. We use a frosted glass if it was for a customer. It looks like a ruby in the right lighting. If you do end up helping Red work the Korea, don't let the warmth of their golden furnishings confuse you. All that glitters is cold. I am going to fix myself a drink as soon as this title card runs. August 14th, 2086. Very happy. Okay. Should have just left you on the cicadas. No. It's quite an uneventful drive in the back of the limousine. The privacy, at least, was nice. But with Abbott and Costello writing in the front, I had no way of getting so old of a reference for her. Like, I know it should still remain popular as one of the first. Actually, I just realized something. Like, it's dismal that it's like the 2080s, and we haven't really advanced. Like, obviously, you can't really reference much art that doesn't exist, but they're not even trying to use fictional works interspersed with the real one. Suggests that they more or less had a culture gap of like 60 years. Like, that'd be like calling out like the 1860s. Like, there are people who like things from it, but. So instead, I spent the whole ride trying to play out all the different ways this could go. I haven't liked any of them so far. I suppose I should feel a relief or gratitude when we pulled up on the outside from the building Skytrace instead from the alley. I suppose it's a good sign that no one stuck a bag over my head or stuck a needle in my neck. I don't feel like celebrating. For all I know, they really don't have a clue about what I did in lower wards last night. But for some reason, when they place their attention on me, there's little I hate more than unwanted advances. I'm also not a big fan of being made to wait. Why am I just sitting out here? In here? We were too late, only by a few minutes. He filled the time slot. Already? Then we've got no chance of maybe if his other meeting went well. Are we on hold, gentlemen? In the world's most expensive waiting room? Quiet. I can take you glaring at me behind those lenses, but I'm more interested in the sweat glistening on his forehead. Somehow, the three of us, I'm the most relaxed. This is becoming embarrassing. Can I at least take in the view while we're here? Take photos if you like, so long as you're quiet. Really? No, your phone won't work in here. Seems to be. Like I can save the game. If I weren't hyperware of the flickering sky hanging over my head, this could make for a lovely watering hole. Those probably aren't even real fish down there. Literal children are capable of keeping goldfish alive, so of course the 0.1%ers can't manage it. Maybe they'd spin it. When their pallid bodies float up to the top because some idiot raised the water temperature 2 degrees, they'd certainly be easy to scoop out. If you're that impatient and undignified idiot, you could argue that's an efficient way to fish. The illusion isn't unimpressive, I guess. Windows into the heavens sparkling like raindrops across a puddle. It might even be appealing if it was trying to be something if it wasn't trying to be something it's not. You look up and see hexagons above you in the lower wards too. Rich or poor, people just can't imagine themselves under an open sky anymore. Not even in their wildest dreams. Is it trying too hard to look unconcerned if I start to sit down and start reading the news? Maybe. My boredom outweighs my apprehension at the moment. Not my fault if they fail to be sufficiently intimidating. PSS Proposition City ahead of next month's convention. Next month will play the host of one of the most competitive political conventions in recent memory. Senator Mathings expected, that was the name I heard earlier, face significant opposition from party outliers before securing his party nomination. But while the broader nation eagerly anticipates the upcoming political circus, city officials are already under fire for a supposed lack of sufficient convention security. The city has already approved a record high monthly budget for the police department, including fully unrestricted overtime for officers of all ranks. But a coalition of private security services, including White Adder, Fang, and Demico, has raised a press statement urging City Council to consider contracting their services ahead of the convention. Heartbreak was bad enough. Now we're in the lower, hearing that cops are dying in the lower wards. When are city officials going to say enough is enough, said Demico, head of press relations Arthur Gowell. We have the utmost respect for all first responders. None of us are blaming the hardworking police for these failures. How could they when political insiders insist they try and apprehend criminals with one hand tied behind our back? Our contracted forces have a world-class training in crowd precipitation, preemptive de-escalation, and enhanced interrogation tactics. And any of the subhuman scum who emphasize with anarchists won't dare to leave their mother's basements once we can get a boots on the ground. That's a guarantee. City Council declined to comment when you reached out to them to ask whether they'd be issuing a request for proposals on such services. The total city population is expected to swell next month as the national political spotlight draws lobbyists, delegates, political action committees, and voters ahead of the 2-week-long process. Most of the community members we spoke to express optimism about the increase in economic activity and tourism and the convention is expected to bring. But some, who refuse to give us their permission to publish their identifying info, rudely and loudly voice their criticism. 2 weeks for a convention where the nominee was decided 2 years ago? It's a joke, and we're the punchline, footing the bill to pay cops to stand around outside parties full of thousands of do-nothing staffers and campaign managers. Wait, the Rockford Fund? Is that like Yuma? I suppose it's less offensive than their advertisement there, paywall, but why list the owner's mid-article? Well, it doesn't make my eyes glaze over. I glazed over it too. Whatever, I got the important part. City's hosting that convention next month, putting the pressure on the council to vote on. Wait, oh shit. That's not the button I was trying to hit. What was in that article about cops dying in the lower wards anyways? Pretty heavy-handed to make that kind of thing, even with the call touching and kicking yourself at the same time. When I've looked around at everything that caught my eye, and I'm all out of ideas, everything except. Maybe they don't know we're here. I'm gonna try knocking. What are you? Hey! Before I get the chance, creaking oak draws my attention to an alternate entrance on the other side of the water. Whew. Sorry. Stop staring and get a move on. That's the kind of man walking out of this place. Who's waiting for me inside? Grand Hall. Pomp and circumstance. Ceremony and ritual. For some reason, I thought the Mafia, of all people, would be a little more efficient with their execution. A little more honest about what they are. Evidently not. Artifice with every glance, costumes and makeup abound. Is this disappointment? That even here, in the supposed bowels of the underworld, that there's no escaping the etiquette of it all? She's the one? Doesn't look like much. Suddenly, Boston stiffens even further. A true feat. Their necks suddenly turn to a pair of doors in the back, each attuned to some signal I'm not receiving. Be still, the young master returns. You're late. Hold on, wait. Young master, sir, everyone slow down. We came as soon as we found her, sir. Traffic was... This is some sassy lost child. Who... I'm sure that one is going to get all of the One Punch Man memes. Silence. Yes, sir. What time were you told to return by? 4 o'clock, sir. What time is it now? Permission to check my phone. You're late. You were tasked with finding one woman and bringing her in a timely manner. Still have blueprints on the brain, sorry. Sir, You'll speak when I tell you to, and not one word further, or else I'll have your teeth removed. By way of curbside. Is this a prank? Am I being recorded? He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. So says Sun Tzu. Please let this be a prank. I don't think you can fathom the cost your tardiness has occurred. If the lead up to my execution is some kid reading of The Art of War, I might just... What is the number one rule in this family? Timeliness, sir. When money gets wasted, it can be replaced. But time only goes one way. It's always running out. This loss is permanent. Every second wasted is a scar on this house's face. Timeliness is next to godliness. So say I. Oh God. So if you two ever waste my time, the house's time again, expect to be dragged through hell. I'm already there. Now both of you get out. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Useless. You. Red woman, you're being addressed. Forget pride. I just want this to be over as fast as possible. You're the lawyer, correct? You may answer. As fast as possible. I'm a lawyer. Morgan. Criminal defense, Mr. How should I address you? As all outsiders do, by my name. Makoto, of House of Kyaria. I should be able to pronounce heir apparent, unemployed, student. Such impudence. Very victus. You, Morgan, criminal defense, have the great honor of being summoned before me. Don't bother bowing. Once you start, you'll end up prostrated all day, and we have important work to do. Right, out of an abundance of respect for your time, Makoto. I should let you that I still have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh, I'll have them kneel on a bed late. I'll have them kneel on a bed bed of nails later or some such thing. Mrs. Dufins. Mrs. Really? The house is in need of your legal services. Oh. Would you give me a moment to clear my throat? I need to switch gears. Un instant. Right then, so you want to hire me. One of our own is being slandered by multiple homicide charges. You will defend him. You want to hire me. I'm flattered, Makoto, but did you pull my name out of a hat? Pick a random page in the phone book. I have many books on my phone. Libraries full of esoteric knowledge spread across countless tomes. You'll have to be more specific. Sorry, I misspoke. What I mean is this is House Ikaria. You must keep a small army of lawyers on retainer. Surely any one of them would be happy to help you. True, we have lawyers. Competent ones, expensive ones, and some who are both. But the best of them are all preoccupied. That's it? They're all just preoccupied? Preoccupied means busy. Thanks. But I'm still not sure how my name specifically was. Do you have a customer survey you want filled out, Miss Defends? You were recommended. What does it matter how it came about? Normally it wouldn't matter. But when the client I'm recommended to is one of the richest, most well-connected families in the country, it gives me pause. I don't have any friends in high places. Not anymore. That makes it hard to see this as a favor. Not when my employer doesn't even know my goddamn name. I'm sorry, my apologies. No doubt you have other questions. Very well, I permit you to ask them. Such a gentleman. Slap that verb. I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you... I'm the only son of Raphael Ikaria, and the only grandson of Daisuke Ikaria, CEO of the Ikaria Financial Group, patriarch of this family, and chairman of the house. I gather those titles are all one and the same. Was one destined to succeed the headship, commanding my family's servants with the responsibility of my birthright? So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, or their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question. I knew that the peasants raised outside of our stratus had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with a law degree would be educated enough to know what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. Just because I'm younger than some doesn't mean I'm any less capable of managing the people who work for me. Does it, men? No, sir. Sir, no, sir. You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who have remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Patton. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, they will be practically useless. So says Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, the second quotation is called for in this instance, if only to emphasize that no one stays useless to House Ikaria for very long, one way or another. If I wasn't brought here just because of what happened last night, then this is just another job. Meaning all of this, starting back at the bar. This has been their idea of a power move. Thank you for insisting that I visit your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old-world sensibility amidst a desert of steel and neon eyesores, is what the house elders say. I've never seen anything like it. It matches your family's reputation for class. Ha! My family's reputation is power, not class. I take a step further and guess that you're renowned for violence rather than power. But that's a moot point. Violence can be classy. From how this house is talked about in the headlines I read on the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly depending on who you ask. Some think that you've got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think that you left all that behind and know it worse than any other corporate family. Are you expecting to ask me what you think? What I think is that I'll need some basic information from to adequately defend your interests. We're financiers. You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out. The Icaria Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loaning funds is our high risk. Sorry. Do, 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 do. Loaning funds is high risk and high reward, but as you can see, our results speak for themselves. Icaria Financial Group, fancy way of saying they got their start as mobster loan sharks. It's not impossible to get this rich with loan sharking alone, but such unsavory work wouldn't get them to the ballrooms and boardrooms tiers of society. You gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house's only income stream? No. Through Aurea, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did found that array sorry, God. It's Renagen Pharmaceutical Corporation, but with past prologue. Renagen, they're a drug company, one of the biggest. You're saying that you've got no relation to Renagen presently? The company went public years ago, and Aurea divested our shares not long after. We were given one seat on the board as a formality, but that's the extent of it. Given. A family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word. If he's downplaying region. Renagen is a global leader in pharmaceutical research, development, and distribution, a company that puts your health before any other concern. Our groundbreaking research into combating modern medical challenges has helped millions live happy, healthy lives, and we're happy to help keep fighting that as we pursue our corporate goals. Put our medicine in the cabinet of every home, improve patients' lives in their communities, minimize our environmental footprint through sustainable ventures, operate with dignity and pride in our ethics, deliver consistent, steady growth to our investors. Shortly after our founding, our researchers developed metformin, the first orally digested treatment for type 2 abnormal diabetes, freeing millions of adolescents suffering from this affection being subjected to painful injections. Since then, we've gone on to prove our formulation, and that constant dedication to perfecting our medicines has made us a national leader in pharmaceutical biosimilars. We're obsessed with perfection and driven by purpose. We'll never stop searching for that next step in the evolution of what it means to be healthy. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Hi Dan, welcome in. Thanks for all the music. It's gonna jam. Okay. Take another sip. Then the house must have a reason to want to distance themselves from the company. You're being very modest, Makoto, and more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Mrs. Defends, but you will be working for me. So you'll have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting, and if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing it well. I doubt it's possible for it with a company with a boot heel as with as big a boot heel as Renagen has no relation to anything that happened in the city, but I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into boardroom politics again anytime soon. I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto of House Ikaria, really, but legal consultations are usually more private than this. Are we certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said that House Ikaria is not accommodating of its guests. We're more than capable of compensating for this nut allergy you allude to. That's so sweet of you, but do all these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped. Circumstances being what they are. Circumstances. And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the city's fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think that you're worthy to hold a one-on-one audience with the next head of this illustrious house. He's a prodigy to be this insufferable at such a young age. I'll admit I was a little taken back to step off to an elevator and into your enclosure out there. The gardens? Yes, our groundskeeper worked hard on them. Does the illusion of the sky come from a live recording of somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That would take quite the equation. It is very impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at this moment. That's okay. Of course it is. A lion does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. It's your exterior and your decorations. What does it matter anyway? If you want the specifics so badly, I'll have one of the servants put you in contact with a contacting firm. That's alright. Something tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. Thank you for indulging my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I feared. But I should make quite clear that in this case I was using the quote to subtly imply that you are stingy with your own graciousness. Got it. Yep, shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide? Multiple homicides. Tell me more! My head of security was arrested by the police last night in the lower wards. They found him brutally beaten, drugged, and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. For those of you just joining us, we did those murders. Is there something wrong with your voice? And also frame the guy. Yes, Morgan is a killer lawyer that's criminal, defense attorney. Is this that peanut allergy you mentioned? No, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants to pay me to prove a man's innocent of a crime I framed him for? Right then. Might I ask where he is found in the lower ward? I get the impression that Ikaria territory is generally positioned more vertically. This whole city is our territory. But it's true that our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than others. They captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to that stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly. Well, he was tortured, I can attest to that much. But I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, so it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom? It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. In a worthy opponent, I might call that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability. I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups, but kidnapping and torturing is beyond the pale, I agree. And the police are even worse. I expected no help from those incompetent fools, but these charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous. Of course they are. Hold on. I think they want to pin 5 murders on him. 5? Let me see. I killed 3, I think. You say 5? Yes, 5. It's absurd. I can only trick hit it for 4 bodies. Okay. Acting so high and mighty, so affronted, so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers. A dead cop? Is this what those mercs were advertising themselves with? What do you mean, one of their officers? Was there a UC, or...? No, they made the ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison. I should never dare to think I got lucky here. The circumstances sound very complex, Makoto, and the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence? Because this man's name is Sasuke Ikaria. The Hound. I've known him all my life. All 3 or 4 years of it. Sorry, that was Morgan's thoughts, not Makoto. There's no individual more honorable, no more devoted, more trustworthy. And not once have I ever known him to be violent, impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this. But proving that is your job. About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Makoto. But you will. If for no other reason than because we shall pay you. More than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more. Not everything's a question of money. Yes, 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 your meaning is taken. It needn't be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of House Ikaria can go a long way in this city, as can our wrath. I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, if the state thinks that whoever killed those 4 blue bloods also killed a cop, I can't afford to sit this hand out. It'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose, period. If I win, throwing a Ikaria-sized wallet in the pot beforehand is all upside. I understand, Makoto of House Ikaria. I'll take Sasuke's case. You say that as if it were ever in doubt. A true prodigy. But he might be right. Maybe it never was. I chose to put that gun into the Sasuke's hand. When I could have just plunged the knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from that moment to the razor edge I'm walking on now is perfectly straight. A line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be a bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing and patterns in the Coriolis effect in chaos theory, you can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right where the crosshairs are pointing. Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks. You should have enunciated. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What do you think was going to happen? Oh yeah, let me save the scene change. Maybe bad news for you if you get a large crowd tonight. Yeah, tell Sarah to meet me at the police station address I'm about to send. I've got work for her to do. It will be quite the paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. But can I afford to accept it? Hey, any of those jokes about the office and your clients being connected to organized crime true? What? Oh, sorry. I read the voices backwards. That was Morgan. What? This kind of honeypot. Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said, layup. Still basket that shit even though I don't get... Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why are you asking me about mafia shit, though? I'm working the case for the Ikaria, who I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me. Anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterwards. Why, do you not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough, so you're like, just asking for my advice? Aura loss is incredible. Yeah, so this character is Gen Z, which means she's like in her like late 60s at least. This is in the 2080s. Doubt she ever could. My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. It was a very basic non sequitur. It just wasn't funny. Not even. A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. Charges homicide. 5 counts. Yeah, you're probably fine. All the stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers, because they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around telling tales. Whatever port they've pinned multiple homicides on, it's obviously not anyone important. I don't think he was framed. Not by his own people. Not pinned as in stuck with. Like a chore. Powerful people, mob or no, they get lawyers for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. Whole point of a pawn is, you don't have to think twice about trading them off. Alright. Guess I know the rumors are true then. You undercovered my cool secret. Listen, actors, singers, celebs, they all like expensive things, being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of legitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great looking, gaspy ass. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. What? All I'm saying is there's mutually beneficial agreements to be made between the rich and the famous, and the rich and the infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms, negotiating appearance fees, taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. Alright, thanks again for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're ever feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents. They say they never hear from you, and I know you can't be that busy. If you're bored enough to talk to me, they're the ones who are busy. Oh. Oh, that was just who I was chatting with. And I wasn't sure what I'd find walking here to speak to my client. But I definitely wouldn't have bet that the next time I saw this man alive, he'd actually look worse. Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. I'm just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry, is there a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and your companion is staring at me very intently. Sarah, blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. That's a very dated word. You'd really prefer I call you an orca? I'd prefer you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure that they told you I've been softened up. They'd broken me. I'd be ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint. But the Hound of Ikaria doesn't heal. Cool. Sasuke, I'm going to repeat myself plainly. And slowly, because you clearly have multiple head injuries. I'm not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Right then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I apologize if I misspoke right now. I'd misspeak too if I'd lost as much blood as you. Morgan, Esquire, I'll be representing you from here on out. Sasuke of House Ikaria. Sarah, paralegal and bartender. You're very young to have 2 jobs, or 10 bar. Well, it's only part-time. Ah, right. So tell us, Sasuke of House Ikaria, what is your routine? You look very fit. My what? Are you asking about, do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD? MPM? I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob lawyer? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path to corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved with representing a man of my background against charges like these. It's very sweet of you to... They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I've not fallen so low that I'll sully the house's name by dragging its building into. Makoto thought differently. The young master, you've seen him? How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty on top of a literal throne surrounded by armed guards last time I checked. Thank you for that. No one's told me anything, and the young master has spoken on this matter. I won't go against his judgment, but I do hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sasuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'd be able to help with. Very well. What do you want to know? So far, all I know about you is your first and last name. It's a very important last name, but I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I'm not worthy of it. Why? You disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? Sorry, water. I was born Sasuke Hayakawa, fourth son of a distant branch family. The only reason I bear the name Ikaria is because I was adopted into the main house as an infant, in exchange for lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal. Lifelong? How did you serve the Ikaria as an infant? There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd. I am what you'd call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be of service to the house by protecting the heir with my life. From the time you were able to walk, there were a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked of me that I stand in the right place at the right time. You mean like in family photographs? Like in front of a blade. Even a child can manage that. The house has given me everything I've ever had and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service I can offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them. You view your relationship with your family as a transaction. It's not something so cold, girl. It's a matter of loyalty. Right. So if you were standing before a judge and they asked your name and occupation, you would say, "My name is Sasuke Ikaria, and I'm an eternal servant for a living." I would say my name is Sasuke Ikaria, and sorry. Head of personal security, likes whetstones, paperbacks, and matcha, dislikes the opera, wasabi, and insects. Favorite author is Alexander Dumas. Coffee is Cafe Americano, and default status non-work related messages will be blocked. I would say my name is Sasuke Ikaria, and I work as a head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial Group. And what does that entail, exactly? I'm the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all his security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Sarah, paralegal, bartender, part-time. Yes, I believe you already mentioned that. It seemed like we were all doing it twice. Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I had the impression that you had no sense of humor. What do you mean? It seems that in this particular instance, Adani, it was you who misidentified his proper manners as being Glad we've all broken the ice. Makoto told me this all started because you were taken captive yesterday. What happened? It's 2 p.m. Young Master just finished a meeting with a VIP in Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. He's a child, anyone can see that, but you have no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route. But our lift stopped suddenly in between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a mistake. I had a bad feeling, thought it best to get Makoto to the ground floor ASAP. So I forced the elevator open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the ground. It was a trap. At 50-51. Staying wasn't safe either. If they could stop the elevator, it wasn't a stretch to think they could drop it too. He just lost the coin flip when he decided to exit. Yes, Sarah, it was a trap. Floors 60 through 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting. The other elevators weren't responding. Comms were jammed. I'd reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, for a floor undergoing renovations. But I knew that there was a construction elevator we could get to on the other side of that tower. I had to act fast. There was no time to doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. You left the kid? I picked him up over my shoulder. Oh, well, that sounds like fun. Hi, Left. Welcome in. Health forgave me. Everything the young master does for the sake of his name's dignity, and I. Kids are tougher than you think. I think he'll get over it. So you escorted him to the service elevator. I take it that's when things. Yes, I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next. But I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift, two assailants emerged under a tarp doorway at my 7 o'clock. One tall, one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters, weighed I'd say about 100 kilos with the mods. Thin was maybe 175 centimeters with slouch. Modded as well, but I can, when I saw what he looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilo. They had needle guns, slow to fire and slow to take effect, a memorable choice. Taller one shot first, jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. Bad habit usually favored by street slinger punks who are used to compensating for the kickback of jailbroken zippers. He might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Thin lines up his shot properly, laser sight detail dialed on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse rider stance and deflect the needle with my weapon. Lift doors open behind me as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. Or so I thought, but all I had was a laser pointer, literally a cheap trick, but it worked. I hear a click from 8 o'clock and turn my neck, and feel a weight punch into my deltoid, a dullish kind of pain for an instant. I realize I'm already going numb. That's when I squeeze. Sorry about that. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. That's how I've always described it. Others say they flex, pull, hold, I squeeze. Akita, type 2, external thoracic. Is that a thoracic? Thoracic? Some burst at strength and pain killing capabilities, but in short, it's a reflex enhancer. Make 1 second feel like 15 in hindsight. Makes you feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds. Once a kickback gets you. But I digress. I moved. Got Makoto into the elevator and wrenched the door shut myself, taking 3 more needles to the back in the process. I remember saliva pooling up on my lip and then cold concrete scratching on my chest. Alright, Sasuke. So you were guarding Makoto. These men laid a trap, targeted him with tranks, failed. Then they take you instead? Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed, but you still managed to protect Makoto. What's there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You're saying this has happened before. Dozens of attempts in the past year, some headed off in the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, and some stopped with force. I knew their tactics and I knew our vulnerabilities, yet I still failed. Sasuke, that is not incorrect. Adane, am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean, shot? You were not carrying a firearm. No, no one on the team had guns. How's that? None of us on the security team had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I'm a head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial Group. Walking onto Allied Grounds property, armed to the teeth, insults their hospitality and makes the house look insecure, or at worst, impotent. I'm not a security expert, but I do believe there's some gray area between armed to the teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you at least say you deflected their attack? I was not defenseless just because I was not carrying a gun. Oh? I had my sword. So lame. So cool! You walk around town with, what, a samurai sword? You just assume that it's a katana? Is it? Yes. It is a signifier of my position within the house, and it shows that I'm acting as a representative of it. Is it ceremonial, then? No, it is quite sharp. I can attest to that. She did earlier in the episode. slash someone's throat with that. Though it is probably in terrible condition by now, seeing as how the city's police has manhandled everything else they touch. Speaking of which, perhaps we should move on to the night's main event. They tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why? Been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless? As a hostage, she means. I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up at all, let alone in captivity. It just seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me, I can remember some things, but how much of it was real, what order it happened, and it's all. Say whatever comes to mind. It can be anything. Sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrist bound above my head, tied to something that smelled like iron and rattled like old iron. Tiles beneath my feet. Some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good guess. They asked me questions. I said things. Loose lips, like being drunk for the first time again. But I'm confident that other than vulgarities, it was all incoherent. Because there were shocks, the taste of blood, I must have bit my tongue during one of the spasms. There were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have guessed. Adelny, you need corrective lenses. Sarcasm is just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah. Lost opportunity? Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see of it, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. I didn't... Why did it load? What the hell? I'll submit a bug report for that. Grateful for fast forward right now, at least. How did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping? I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't blocked so bad. There was always a door that squeaked and whined, and I always knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions mostly. It was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me. Heavy. Other voices came and went, and then eventually there was talk. Through the door I heard they were talking to someone else. A new voice. Was it high-pitched or low, loud or soft? It doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there last night. Did you make out any part of their conversation? No, not a word. There was a loud noise, gunshots, followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then, hollow pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When I came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. I didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. I just started working at the bindings, rushed and clumsy. I poked myself in the process, but I cut them loose and took the gat out. The blindfold was so tight, I cut it rather than crying. The damn thing must have been acting as a bandage, because when I took it off, between the light and the pain, I thought my head had split open. It took me a long time to stand up. It felt like I could just lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever if I just... Something was poking me, something tucked into my waistband. The gun. A gun. Imagine my surprise. Checked the safety, the chamber reflexively, but only saw 2 spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I just walked out of that squeaky door and into red. Just red. And when I was blinking at an IV, handcuffed to a stretcher in an ambulance, some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait, some judge or official said that later. Yeah, no, he totally killed the last one. We only killed 4. That cop was resisting arrest. When I woke up in the ambulance, all they said was that I was a cop killer, omitting some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, and tortured, but then you woke up armed and were able to escape? The cops didn't ask me any questions, and I wouldn't have answered if I had. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it out loud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. This is your world, Sasuke, not mine. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. In the first scenario, 1 or more of my captors wanted to kill me but needed an excuse to do so. So let me escape. They gave me a knife and unloaded a gun, then wait for me to stumble up so they can miss me and be done with it. But the plan doesn't work. Somehow I limp out of the room, shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. I'd be quite the feat given the condition you say you were in. Yes, a tale for the ages, but it's not possible. Why is it not possible? Even if he had the motive and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking. In the brief I read, 2 of the pod were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sasuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both its shots. So if we tell the police the gun wasn't loaded, will that clear Sasuke's name for 2 of the murders? There's no proof that the gun was already empty by the time he got his hands on it. She's right. That gun was some sort of jailbroken mag rail. The only residue it would leave behind is static. So long as my prints are on it, that's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. So how about that second possibility, then? The second possibility is that someone walked into that building, killed my captors, then tried to frame me for it. That sounds like lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot, given that's exactly what happened. What is it? I'm just surprised you believe me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. It certainly happens that I can usually tell. A wise policy from the world you're setting foot into. Not as if it makes any difference here. Even I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured, even now. Sorry, missed the line there. And we just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors without help. What makes you think you might still be guilty? Because I've killed before. Pale spark flickers at the back of my mind. My index finger raises slightly, my lips part. Was I expecting this, stepping into the criminal underworld? Looking forward to it. The rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes. I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives, many lives. That doesn't make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders. I've killed people. Whether or not a superior asked me to do doesn't change that fact. But soldiers... Are you a soldier, Sarah? No? So drop it. She is good at following orders. It can take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that's... Wait, that's an android? Did you miss the glowing barcode? And ignore my self-introduction. Look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something. Did my hair catch your eye? You have discerning taste. You see, each strand is actually... She's about to go into her spiel about the photosensitive hair that's solar powered. Is there something you wanted to say, Sasuke? I've taken lives before, and I know many, and so I know how I feel afterwards. Thin. How do you feel right now? Right now I feel... What is it, you remember something? Yes, after I stepped out the door, I said I saw red. but I do remember one other sensation. I remember the feeling of gripping my sword. That brief you read it listed all the charges, all the causes of death. The fifth man, the cop they say I killed. How did he die? Stabbed through the back with a sword, skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you've got the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital? I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request. I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Not right now, Sparky. Rhea, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking. Go save the lecture, gray hair. Likes duct tape, mascara, and oak. Dislikes parking lots ties. Honeydew is the best at finding new restaurants. No accommodations displayed at his workstation. His wardrobe is more expensive than it looks. Gray? Come on, my hair isn't. It's graying, maybe. Because I haven't made it clear, I've never liked you, Morgan. Aw, you're breaking my heart. I hadn't noticed. But I never took you for a mob lawyer. Whatever my client's associations may be. He's a cop killer. Innocent and proven guilty isn't a phrase that I coined, detective. Favorite shampoos? I don't know. Conditioner's more important. It's actually somewhat important. But don't worry about that. The proving won't take us long at all. Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? We've all seen the same intake file by now, yes? Sasuke Ikaria was apprehended at the scene of the crime and placed in medical transport. Injuries noted at the time, blood from various sources across the interior of the body. Numerous bones in the left hand broken as if from impacting a hard surface. Slight laceration found on the left hand. Internal bleeding through the torso and skull. Bruising and rope burns on both wrists, as if bound. Numerous bruises on the anterior side of the body. Others blood found across the tops of feet and pant legs. Largest wound found near the crown of the skull, back of the head near the top. At the time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noted, including bruise to the left eye, busted lip, broken nose, boxed left ear, blunt trauma to anterior side of the head. When or where these additional injuries were sustained is not noted. Oh, I mean, I literally just saved there, it's fine. My client was in bad shape when he was transported, but his wounds were treated in the medical transport. Yet somehow, in between arriving at the station and his booking, all his wounds were reopened and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, great detective. How will we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull? Your client was being moved between floors. He struggled, trying to escape. And then he fell down the stairs? Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. So let's just say your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. A police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already. She's right, Tiger. What's done is done. You know you've got a snowball's chance in hell of proving your client was assaulted while in police custody. And you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try and ask him for something doable. Don't go giving away all my best tricks. The door in the face tactic is already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. You gotta be shitting me. That's a blooded KW and there are some military grade mods. He's not leaving this building. Good if a doctor brought here. Give him a chance to take a hostage? He's not the 99 man, Reyes. He can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You don't know what it means. You're no old. The 99 man, or a 99 man, refers to a theoretical state of being in which a human has replaced much of their body with cybernetic equivalents as possible, thereby becoming someone who is 99% machine and yet still technically a human. The term first appeared in the speculative fiction story Carved Out of Marble by M.P. Smith, but rose to prominence after the 2072 Paralympics, when middleweight track and field gold medalist Ayad Safran quoted the story as inspiration after breaking the world record for the time at 800 meters. Oh, okay, just regular, like running. I was like about to say, like, for some reason, I was thinking like long jump. I was like, oh yeah. But no, just the 800-meter race. Since then, the phrase has been popularized both as a meme and a thought experiment, opening up discussions about transhumanism in sports, the business world, education, and beyond. Some social media influencers, athletes, or tech have taken the 99 man as a challenge, modding themselves into as much possible with the explicit goal of approaching what they see as the current limit for transhumanism. Officially, the individual is the greatest percentage of their body mass replaced with artificial analogs as an anonymous male adult living in the Eastern Hemisphere who is suffering from a rare and terminal form of bone cancer. Bonitis. Sorry. Before signing up for an experimental surgery offered through How Industries Theseus Initiative. I just love the idea of the Theseus Initiative. Sorry. How officially describes the patient as currently living a normal and productive life, though Theseus has never produced any consumer market products and has not published any additional research papers in the last 2 years, leading some to question whether the results are at all replicable. I'm going to refill my drink. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? Medical ad? Sure, great. Let's see if we can't negotiate his premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? Oh, I didn't say no, did I? Great, he also needs protective detail. Lady, I swear to... Counselor? Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll have the outcome you're looking for. No, but if my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to be declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up to court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking for either. We could keep him here. What, in the interrogation room? Counseling quarter. Table can't be moved, but you slide the chairs out of the way. The floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what other lodging he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client would mind. So if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shifts keeping watch, now we're keeping watch? It is the homicide department's counseling quarter. You think I'd give a shit what happens to that son of a bitch? You think I wouldn't walk in there myself and... You wouldn't. What? It's not in your nature. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You either have it or you don't. Trust me, if I had the chance to take a swing at that son of a bitch... Yeah, you already called him that. A piece of shit, a bastard, a killer. But unlike every other cop I walked past to get in here, you've yet to call Sasuke an animal. So what? What the hell does that matter? It's the only thing that matters. I've got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone, so long as they're not a person. Whatever, think what you will, creep. Well, so long as that's your only request, we should be able to. I need to get into the crime scene as soon as possible. You gotta be. Like tonight? She's not rushing me any more than anyone else, Sunshine. Everyone up the line has been raring to go on this now that Sasuke's actually got a lawyer. Maybe that son of a bitch hadn't clammed up the day we thought. She said it again. Whatever, pick then, counselor. You can bully us into guard duty or escort duty, but we can't do both. I need both, you'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You can go treat Sasuke. Adoni, I'm not trained in... Oh, I love this bitch. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ad. Yes, I would never forget that unforgettable experience. But I've never done first aid before. Well, we'll watch a tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages and she'll get Sasuke looking good as new in no time. Then you can plop her in front of the door and even 20 crooked cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a strong core, so if I focus my lower center of gravity... Thanks for the sales pitch, but that doesn't mean shit. Crime scene is the lower wards. Do you think after what happened last night that any cop worth a pulse would go down there without their partner? It's okay, sunshine. I'll take her down there. Everyone in here hopping Nirvana. London is in blue blood territory. Blue blood territory outskirts, really. If they lost a whole pod, they'll be swarming the place. Can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know Matt from Contraband? Skinny guy, kind of a perv. Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's got a crime scene analysis sweeps going over that place with a fine comb right now. Drones, probes, the works. They'll have eyes on us before we get within 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Let's keep in contact for once. I hope you're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. Be a real shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, blinkers? Gotta find where they store all the medkits in this dusty old piece of... Go on, I'll be right behind you, detective. Sorry about that. She's new to all this, really. Not like old me. She does seem to be on edge, more so than usual. It's her first time losing a fellow officer. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally. How they know each other. Alright, you gather up your things, I'll go bring us a ride. Great. Thanks for the help, detective. You're a lifesaver. Though this one occasion is where I wouldn't have had any trouble finding the place. Really didn't take you that long to patch him up, huh? Now we just wait here all night. That clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, detective, might you be interested in answering some questions? Once more into the depths. When I went down to the lower wards last night, I knew what I wanted to find, but I wasn't sure where to look. Also scene change. Now I know where to look, but I have multiple priorities to consider. It'd be nice if I can prove Sasuke's innocence, but it won't be easy given that I think he killed a cop. If it would keep me on the Ikaria's good side, that'd be nice. But what's essential is that I figure out what the hell happened after I left. Whether anyone found any trace that I was ever there. Everything else is secondary. Sorry, guess I should have asked before I decided we'd be sharing a cab. I don't mind. But I am surprised. Didn't budget cuts take away your shiny patrol car? Patrol cars are shared, counselor. Any cop can step into any other cop's car, sync their credentials, and drive. Convenient. Shame you can't personalize. Yeah, no more dice in the mirror. Is that why we're in a cab then? Personal taste? Police cars are full of bugs. Thought you might appreciate the privacy. Auto cabs are full of bugs too. True, but there are ways around them. Are there? I didn't know that. Yeah, plenty. Can be as easy as flashing a police badge. Something you wanted to discuss in private, detective. I was asked to get in contact with you and pass along a message. A secret admirer? Certain interested parties and all that. You know how it is. I'm not sure I do. Does this have something to do with my client's business affiliations? There'd be a lot more blustering if I were to repeat it verbatim, so I'll paraphrase. Focus on getting the best outcome for your client. More of a reminder of what my job description is than a warning. And don't broaden the scope of your investigation any more than strictly necessary. Well, I always appreciate kind words of advice. But Detective London, that almost makes it sound like you're on the take. That's the city, Tiger. If you don't take a little, they'll bury you. Alive, if need be. Oh, they will? How conspiratorial. It's not a joke, Morgan. Do they threaten your wife with Tommy guns if you don't comply? It's gotten more sophisticated than that. Well, maybe sophisticated isn't the right word. Complicated might be more accurate, or you could just call it a quagmire, or even a shitstorm. If you can't get along to go along, even other cops won't trust you. You'll end up shot in the back, friendly fire, a tragic newspaper clipping. You're exaggerating. You're telling me the entire police force is corrupt. Yep. Corruption would be one thing, in theory, rooted out. But above and below the canopy, it's all intertwined, every tree stabilizing every other tree. What do they call that? Not parasitism? Commensalism. There you go. The state pays criminal informants to rat on their peers and let them keep their positions in exchange. Orcas by judges and politicians, orcas being organized crime, keep their men out of prison. Status quo, balancing act, a cycle. Stable as any gyroscope. Forgive me if I find that hard to believe. Crime's at an all-time low. It's not a contradiction. People hate crime. They shouldn't do that. Don't hate crime. I know. But what gets people killed is chaos. And the opposite of organized crime is that everyone's playing nice with each other. Even Detective Reyes. What about the man they think my client killed? Did he play nice? He was a special case. You got the brief, you recognize his last name? It's a big city, I don't have to put too much stock into last names. I have to break that habit if you continue to work in the underworld. Sasuke said something similar. Tarek Chopin, the only son of Miguel and Dominic Chopin. Patrol officer, likes 24/7 news, calligraphy, late dinners, dislikes gray hair, untucked shirts, and mints. Bachelor of Science in Applied Philosophy. Wait, is that not a Bachelor of Arts? So, city councilman. The power couple? Why would the son of two of our city's most prominent council members be working as a police officer? Want the full story? Always. So is this Chopin really? An idealist, wrong line of work then. You're only half right. When he entered the academy, everyone assumed it was a political move. First step in his career was becoming a senator or whatever. Maybe it was, but anyone who met the guy could tell you he'd be a lousy politician. You're saying he was honest? Wouldn't tell a lie as his life depended on it. Guy couldn't do small talk, much less make friends. Talking about cleaning up the city, cleaning up the police, cleaning up everything. If he was so unpopular, why was he kept on? No one on the force wanted to risk insulting his parents by firing him. Just got passed around from department to department, detail to detail. Did a lot of community outreach. Community outreach? Like bake sales? Like giving talks at school saying no to drugs until you turn 21. Wolf must have really loved his job to put up with that. Or I just wanted to prove a point that bad. Don't you try and save lower wards patrols for the more seasoned, better armed officers? We do, yeah. How'd you know that? By going to the lower wards and looking at the cops you send there, of course. I read about it in What Flat magazine last month. Oh. If Chopin was the son of such powerful men, why'd he end up in the lower wards last night? That, I don't know. You don't know. By all accounts, he and his partner should have at least 2 patrols removed from that area. Must have been following up on some other lead. His partner, who's that? The hero who finally arrested the Hound of Icaria, that's who. I'll have to send him a congratulatory fruit basket. Huey Rogers, pretty bare bones record, but maybe that'll just add to his legend. What legend? Taking your client alive. Whacked him on the head with his sidearm, knocked him out cold. Guess it is a small miracle that Sasuke wasn't just shot dead if they thought he killed a cop. Maybe, but it wasn't pure luck. Only thing that did stick out to me in Rogers' record was his shooting score. 41. Out of 100. You need 40 to pass. Think someone took pity on him when tallying up his score. So he only locked Sasuke on the head because he was too bad a shot to avenge his partner? At least Rogers knows his weakness. I keep hearing that name, the Hound of Icaria. I cringe every time. No one actually calls him that, right? Sorry, but I've definitely heard that name circulating around organized crime before. Must have been one hell of a bodyguard to earn that nickname for it. He's a bodyguard? Then yeah, it must be pretty good. Of course, hound dogs are known for other things besides guarding. Sorry, that was crude. Oh, don't be sorry. I don't even get enough of the joke to be offended. Okay, that makes some interesting food for thought. But Detective London, if you are working for the Blue Bloods... Never said I work for the Blue Bloods, it's more of a gig worker type thing, Tiger. I'm friends with everybody. If you are working for the mob in general, then... How do I know you're even taking me to the right place and not to... Whoa, whoa. I may pass the message along here and there, but I'm not damn. Hell, no one is either. Whatever you're imagining, it's not that exciting, I promise. Not that exciting. Sounds about right. Is it like this in every city? Handshakes and gentlemen's agreements behind home doors? You disillusioned? The state has a great deal of power, Detective Luncheon. It makes countless rules. Now I'm a big girl. I know those rules don't apply to people equally. And I understand the value of criminal informants and the possible conflicts of interest that arise from trying to keep them around. What I don't get is why the state has all this strength and won't use it to just wipe the underworld off the map. That's pretty cold logic. I'd expect my state to be far colder. Hey, you ever heard this one? A politician, a CEO, and a mob boss are sitting at a round table with a gun in the middle. Who are you betting on? CEO looks at the loading gun, pins bolts in the clip of his inventory that needs moving. Plus, they're used to taking a job and setting up their golden parachute before anything else. I doubt they'd walk into that room without first planning on how they're getting out of it. Fair enough, CEOs only get the job in the first place by convincing their boards they can navigate high stakes. It's a trick question, of course. Rock, paper, scissors has no trump card. The politician can bring the heavy arm of the law down on the mob boss if he doesn't shoot the CEO for him. The mob boss can have the CEO's family killed if he doesn't blow away the politician first. And the CEO can turbocharge the campaign of whoever the politician's opponent is if he refuses to miss the mob boss. Yeah, seems like you'd make the argument go in the other direction too. You could, so the point of the riddle meant to teach is this. Whoever convinces someone else to pull the trigger comes out on top. Funny. So in the parable you've set up, the gun on the table, what, that's the police? A blameless tool with no will of its own? Yeah. There was older man than I who set that one up. Why did it load again? I'll get the bug report submitted later. We used to have a partner to help us out, a tiebreaker. So all three of those powerful men would be screwed if a journalist told the world they were meeting together. We got good news for you, Detective. Journalists still exist. I would introduce you to one. You could even take a photograph. Oh, I know they're not extinct. People are always right. It's just no one wants to pay them to. I just love commentary on things that are very much a problem in 2020 and not just 2080. I know that's how cyberpunk works, just amplifying our own problems, but that one's not even amplifying, it's just Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to talk so much. Maybe it's the nerves coming back down here. What happened the last time you visited? Something up? Didn't put you to sleep, did I? No, actually. Your three-seat table reminded me of an even older thought experiment. If God is omnipotent, why does he allow the existence of the devil? Hold on. Title drop. I know it's. Even I know that one. Preserve free will or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the most answer most people give. But now I'm wondering if it isn't a rock, paper, scissors dead like the one you described. God lets the devil be so terrify man, and man will always need God's warm protection. God needs man's faith, which can't be compelled. Of course, most people would also say that God's long dead in the 21st century, but we're still around. That leaves the devil in an awfully strong position, doesn't it? You always picture three men in that room, don't you? Huh? Ah, yes, I guess I do, sorry. Do 55 feminist rosaries for your penance. Detective London. Hmm? We're definitely not alone down here. When you reassured your partner that we'd have company, I didn't think you were including Blue Bloods. Ah, I had forgotten to mention. What? He's a liar, babe. Because I never said that. I never said that. No, I never said that. Oh, come on, babe. That's what she's like. She lies for fun. Because that's what I call you, babe. It's a pet name. You like it. No, don't hang up. Don't hang up, baby. Don't hang up. Of course I do. We gotta get to work, hon. I'll have to call you back, babe. Something just came up. London, what is this? London, who is this? Counselor Morgan, this is Adelaide Hahn. Well, she's a blue blood. Hey, I'm a perfectly legitimate career woman. You're speaking to Cyanus Security Site Manager. If you need anything, miss, don't hesitate to reach out. Adelaide hands business card listing her as a site manager at Cyanus Security. A known front for the Blue Blood criminal organization, includes personal contact number on top of her work details for some reason. A real business card? It even has a watermark. Let's see, Evangeline's card. I'm not familiar with Cyanus. We're a private security and investigating firm. We provide bouncers, armed escorts. I'm going to skim this one. Cyanus Security is a trusted partner for your business ventures, offering a suite of private security services, including but not limited to bodyguards, convoys, bouncers, private investigators, paternity test, family history research, and shipping insurance. Answer a few questions about your needs in the portal below, and we'll get you set up with the peace of mind you've been searching for. The browser may pop through with a security pop-up when interacting with some of the features on our site. You can safely disregard these messages as they're related to a legal matter that's already been settled out of court. We apologize for the disruption in your site experience. Ready to get started? Not interested in sponsored search results? Search further with a premium account. Whew. Provide bouncers, armed escorts, you can catch cheating partners, find runaway debtors, run paternity tests, that kind of stuff. Sorry, but have we met somewhere? No, it can't be. I'd never forget a beauty like you. She's the Hound's lawyer, hon. Seriously? She works with those copper-headed scumbags? Who are mortal enemies? That sucks. Another life then, eh? I'll still play nice if you will. I'm also realizing it is now past midnight. I should, even though I'm good for tonight, I should probably call it here. Thank everyone. It does not seem like anyone is live to raid, so I'm going to just cut it off there. But thanks again, and I'll see y'all soon. This was on the end of chapter 2. I was saying if it. Okay.